what did DNA say to the RNA? Do these genes make me look fat?
That's a good one. Today's topic is using Agiloft within the biotech and the life sciences industry.
What we lovingly call the BioTech Build. So that's essentially an Agiloft knowledge base, or KB as we call it in the business. It's an Agiloft implementation that we have done internally, specifically keeping the biotech industry in mind. And it has a lot of, it's a feature-rich KB that we build. But Andy, why did we do it?
Well, I think we did it for one primary reason. We are experts in this space. Our previous backgrounds in the industry really lend itself to understanding what business processes are absolutely required to be followed and executed against that are most efficient. And when you talk about contract management, there are very unique contractual obligations within the industry that are unique. Mm-hmm. So, if you look back on all the implementations that we've done, 3/4 of them have been in this particular industry. So why we built this default knowledge base, which is kind of like a fast start to anyone that would want a new build, mm-hmm. is because we kept implementing and building the same solution to the same problems from every client that had those issues. Mm-hmm. We started seeing the same need, no matter the company, but it was unique to the industry.
Yeah.
So how do we then take all of these requirements that seem to be very standard and make it part of a default build? And I think why is really because of that. We saw the same problem with different companies, but what they had in common is they were in the same industry.
Yeah, so I think the way I look at it, it's basically we took the history that we had with these clients, right, our experience, and put it into a form that then we can now use to educate our new customers, right? So when you have, when somebody comes to us, hey, either during early stages of discussions, when we are scoping, we kind of take them back to, hey, in this biotech build, we solved this particular problem or particular use case that you have using this way, right? So we can actually demonstrate that. Most people are visual. They love to see what, right. It helps them make a decision faster. It helps us show the power of Agiloft in the different configurations it has. And, yes, it's industry specific. We even call it the biotech build. But there are features that other industries are also using. So if you are coming from a different industry, we can still demonstrate the features, but the focus is for biotech industry based on the type of data that we are capturing, the type of contract types we have. But certain features, assume we can showcase other industries like approvals and workflows.
Yeah. Right? Well, I think the other thing that's really unique about the BioTech Build is we understand what components of the build are needed to be based upon what the maturity of your company. Let's say you're a revenue generating company with an approved product. The BioTech Build can act in this manner. Let's say you're in a discovery phase and you're just now getting into clinical trials and you don't know if you need to really start looking at a mature CLM. We have ways to adapt our biotech build for your early clinical trial stage evolution. When you reach phase 2, what should you be looking out for, within your contract management accountability, things like that. So we've taken into account the business maturity
Mm-hmm.
and built modules based within the biotech build that can be used at every stage of the clinical trial
Yeah,
progression.
yeah, it can help demonstrate, can address the concerns, questions
Yeah.
that you have. So where we have been using it is, like I mentioned before, like during scoping, when we have initial contact with the customer, right? They have questions, we can show them. Even during the implementation, right? So we go through a kickoff process, we go through requirement sessions, we go through, design reviews, all in all those steps. If you have, hey, I want to see how this feature works, we use the biotech build to demonstrate those features, demonstrate the impact of the decisions that are being made, demonstrate the different ways to configure a particular option.
Yeah.
So we use it in a number of places. It's actually part of our implementation playbook that we use it to get somebody to even give them hands-on experience. If you want to play with the system that may look similar to what you want, we have test data in there so that you can relate to it.
Yeah.
We have different templates that are in there, and then we have different types of workflows. It's integrated to, I think, DocuSign. Yeah,
Yeah,
linked to DocuSign.
the default KB is integrated to DocuSign. We have amassed probably 60 or 70 different contract types that are industry required.
Yeah.
Not every company needs all the contract types, for everything. Obviously, your contract type is going to be unique to your business. But I think part of really what we're able to do is also give you a level of comfortability with the protection of your intellectual property. In this particular industry, your asset is your science, and many times a manufacturer that's very specific, if that manufacturer developed a particular instrument just for you, that instrument in itself is part of your IP, but yet you've got a contractual relationship with that particular manufacturer. You don't want that relationship to be known by your competitors. If they know that you've partnered with Thermo Fisher, they can now partner with Thermo Fisher. So you may want to protect the integrity of a lot of your suppliers. So we took security in mind really heavy here. The ability to have confidential flags on various contract types. Let's say you're working with a controversial investigator for one of your clinical trials in Honduras. Mm-hmm. News on the street is that investigator is not too popular, but that investigator, it's just news. You're in business with this particular investigator because they can provide an asset for you, not because of what someone is telling you about them. You might want to hide the fact that you're doing business with that particular investigator, but yet still legally be protected. And when we start looking at all the nuances of this industry, the guidelines from the FDA that have to be followed. Obviously a contract management system is not a regulated platform, but you need to treat it with as much care and respect as you do your most sensitive regulated assets.
Absolutely.
And I think if you have that philosophy within your company, that we're treating our data here with as much respect as we are in our quality system or in our, adverse event reporting system, then good practices follow. And we've built this default KB with those
I think
philosophies in mind.
It also looks at the, if the organization is data minded, right? The power is in the data. We demonstrate that with this tool, and then when we do implementation for your particular, for your company, that's when we bring all that we have in the biotech build it into your KB. Other big thing that we do, right, for as a biotech is, you want to track spend very closely. A lot of these companies are, in an R&D phase, very heavy spend on R&D, different phases. They're, very on different phases you're spending. You want to track spending on trial. You want to track spending based on the programs, products. So the way we built this KB is that you can track spend at a very granular level, and then you can look at, hey, what is your estimated spend in your contracting system. Yeah, and a lot of, I mean, honestly, not everybody use it as the final, as the final numbers are coming from your financial systems, but it gives you an early view in your contracting system that this is where you're headed to.
Well, here's a scenario. You're an early stage clinical company and you're VC funded. You don't have commercial revenue, so everything that you spend is from an investor lens. And what you need to do is you need to do what you can to account for that money, whether it's an R&D tax credit from the government.
Yeah.
You might have a grant or a sponsorship that you've received that you have a pool of money that you need to track spend down from. We have built those scenarios within this KB. How do I track my R&D tax credits? How do I track my grants that I was the recipient of, to know that I'm not overspending on any of that stuff?
Yeah.
But it's that type of an accountability that I think our build allows an emerging company that might not be as mature within their ERP platform. They might not have mature systems yet, but yet they can still get a handle on their contractual ownership.
Yeah, I mean, FP&A plays a big role in this process. Yeah. So, FP&A is, the financial side of the house, but this allows FP&A to have a say in the contract at the time the contract is being negotiated, early in the contract process. So this helps you track that spend. So all of these features are something we have kind of, learned over the years for both Annie and I being in this industry and being an Agiloft partner for, I think we're like 6+ years now.
Yeah.
Right? So we've kind of taken all those learnings, brought that into this build, and it helps you fast track, right? I think and you can see some quick wins coming out of it.
Well, I think what we have the capability to do, and this is a really odd analogy, but we give you the whole enchilada to start, and then we carve out components that you don't need at the stage that you're in, but knowing that those modules can be bolted back in when you're ready to be mature enough to use those new features, and then it allows us a quick win to get you a platform sooner. So you can make a decision on Agiloft, and still know that you've got a very solid foundation that you can have up and running relatively quick.
Yeah, and I think I like the way you phrased it earlier. You said you have the whole enchilada, and you can split it into mini tacos.
Mini tacos.
You can split it into mini tacos,
yep.
Right? I think that's that's a good way to end this, right? You can look at what is possible, and then you can fast track the features that you want by looking at them, and then this gives you a shorter runway to get started. So that's the reason we created this BioTech Build. It has helped us, and we hope that it will also help our customers. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.